For years, Chelsea Football Club have had one issue that I've been told is massive within the dressing room. Lack of leadership. And I'm telling you now, Axel Disasi's comments today highlight why that is not true. Because the comments are powerful, insightful, and more importantly, it's accountable. I love it. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Some news regarding the cup final. Positive news for Chelsea, horrible news for Liverpool. Jota and Nunez look set to be missing it, and Lord knows we need all the help we can get. However, Kendry Paez now is training with Chelsea for the upcoming week. I'm going to tell you why that's a big transaction for Chelsea. And finally, the big one. Chelsea have hired a new specialist to deal with their injuries. I've got the insight. Why Chelsea are doing this, who is he, and what's going to happen. Let's get into it. Before we start, I need you lot to do me a massive favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, support the cause in the comments below by telling me how excited are you for the final, and more importantly, the big one. Give me your score predictions and if you're confident. Let's get started. Jose Mourinho's first tenure did a few things. One, make Chelsea all uber successful by teaching them how to win. Number two, build the spine in a team that stayed for 10 years minimum. And number three, it just built a winning culture. Everything we did was best in class. And we need to get back to those ways. And one of those ways is building a winning culture and more importantly, an accountable leadership culture. And Axel Disasi, everyone knows my thoughts on the player. I think he's a little bit rash. I think he's a decent player. I don't think he's of the Chelsea quality. When I start looking at John Terry's, Carvalho's, Alex's, other players such as David Luiz, I don't think he could live up to their standards. I don't. However, I'm here to be proven wrong. If he can step up, if he can perform, he will develop, he will improve. You will know I rate the way he passes. I think his long-range passing is amazing. I think his bravery in accepting the ball in difficult situations is very good. I think his leadership capabilities are very good. Yes, I have issues with his recoveries on one-on-one isolations, especially with a high line. I have issues with his short passing, and I also have issues with him in the air. But that's nothing he can't work on. And a good player develops. Trust me, I saw it with Antonio Rudiger. When Rudiger first came, he was absolutely a walking mistake. One of the best centre-halves in the world right now. One of the best centre-halves. Maybe Disasi could have a turn like that. And that just tells me coaching, structure, and self-discipline from a player does that to a player. However, this is the big one. I already see what I like in Disasi in leadership. His leadership capabilities have been there to see. The other day, he jumped into the crowd and I said, this guy's a muppet. What are you doing? Like, I understand you're one of us and you want to enjoy yourself because we got a late winner, but what the hell are you doing? But you know what? I'm going to hold my hands up. I think I was very wrong with him, man, because these comments after the game were phenomenal. He said, we can't get carried away. Yes, we won 3 games, but nobody in that dressing room is allowed to say Chelsea are back. And for me, those words are magical. Because Chelsea are nowhere near back. We aren't back. We're 10th. Chelsea are back where we win the league title. That's when we start looking at people and say, you know what? Hold that. We're back at top of the league. We are where we belong to be. And we need more players that understand that. And I need Pochettino to drill that into more players. It is very easy for people to sit back now and say, you know what? We beat Aston Villa. Brilliant result. We beat Crystal Palace away. We broke the hoodoo of the away record. We went to Manchester City. Everyone expected a Pamin. Disasi put in a masterclass of a performance in the sense that Jamie Carragher said it was John Terry-esque. Yeah, it was. However, he's not getting carried away and we're not getting carried away. And they all are looking at this final as the litmus test. We need to win this. Even if we lose this final, there needs to be penalty. The only way I will accept losing this final is penalties because that's a lottery. However, I need us organized, I need us structured, and I need us going after this full blast. Some news regarding the final. Jota, Nunez, both out of the game. It is being reported heavily in the ITKs from Liverpool. Jota's going to be out for 2 months. Nunu's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, meaning he won't make the final. And for me, Chelsea need all the help they can get. So if those players are going to miss, shame for them because you know what? Players want to play for that. And we don't wish injury upon anyone. However, this essentially takes some bench power of Chelsea and it's of Liverpool, and it's kind of doing the equalizer thing because we're missing Reece James, we're missing Wesley Fofana, we're missing certain players that are going to be pivotal like Romeo Lavia, Carney Chukwuemeka that could just come on and stabilize the team in the second half because that was the issue. We didn't have many options. The injuries were taking their toll. So the fact that they're going to have to now, we know, go with Diaz, Gakpo and Salah. No one else off the bench coming off unless they go with that youngster, I think the Irish youngster, or if they go with Elliot. There's no one else left. So we literally know what's happening. Curtis Jones might potentially make the final, and he's a tempo setter for them. It's going to be an interesting one. I genuinely cannot wait for the final. I love final. As a Chelsea fan, I adore them. And for me, it's all about winning. Like I said the other day, performances don't matter in finals. We don't remember performances in finals. What's interesting to me is Kendry Paez is with Chelsea. For those of you that don't know, Kendry Paez is a youngster that Chelsea have signed for £15 million at the age of 15. Ever since then, he's gone on to become the youngest ever player to play for Ecuador. I think he's the youngest ever player to score for Ecuador. I think he's the youngest ever player to play in a CONMEBOL game. I think he's the youngest player to play in the Ecuadorian league. And he's regularly getting minutes. I don't know whether he's starting on a consistent basis, but at age 16, he already looks like a protege. He looks phenomenal. There's the whole vibe around this player that this is going to be the next big star, and Chelsea got an absolute steal for him. But the reality is, we need to get him to London as much as possible. He officially joins the club on July 2025, and that is massive news for Chelsea Football Club, because they need to keep him far away from Chelsea as possible for now, unless it's training sessions. Get him inbred with a culture, make him feel that he is part of something bigger. Make him feel like this team's going in the right direction. And a training week of coming up to a final is phenomenal for him, because it gives him a taste of what a big club feels like. He's going to be around Enzo Fernandez, going to be around Moises Caicedo, he's going to be around all the other players, seeing how they prepare, wanting to be in their position, and Chelsea need that in him from the outset. We have to get a winning culture. I think that is imperative. We have a manager that doesn't win. We have a manager that doesn't understand what it takes to win. We need to find a way to get across the line, because it can kickstart the season. You all know my thoughts on Pochettino. I think genuinely Pochettino is not the long-term answer. I think Pochettino is the foundation placer. He's the one that's going to come in and lay the foundation. We're going to get very decent. We're going to get back into the top four. And then the ownership group's going to say, you know what, Maurizio, thank you for the job that you've done. We greatly appreciate it. But we're going to go to the next level by bringing in the next winner. That's what I think is going to happen. Genuinely, Pochettino makes me have faith in him to develop these young players. But I just want it done a little bit quicker. And that's just me being impatient, because I am a fan. I want to see my team back at a certain level. And at this moment in time, we're nowhere near that level. So having Kendry Paez around a good, positive, winning atmosphere is good. You're hearing Axel Disasi say, we haven't done anything yet. I love it. I want that kind of mentality in and around the team. And if Disasi is feeling it, you know Conor Gallagher's saying it, you know Enzo saying it, you know Caicedo saying it, you know all the leaders in the team are saying this. I need Reece James in and around the squad. There were pictures that he's in and around the squad. We need a calming influence on the squad. That is imperative for this year. Let's get it. The final piece of news is regarding Chelsea's new appointment in the medical staff. Normally, I don't talk about appointments behind closed doors, purely based on the fact that we don't know much. However, with this one, I kind of want to. So apparently Chelsea have acquired Ed Richmond, who's a physio. He's come from Leicester, and he's going to be joining Chelsea. And one of the reasons Chelsea acquired him is because he's a hamstring specialist. They're going to take a look at what's going on with the club with hamstrings. Why are we pulling so many? I was listening to ESPN FC yesterday, and Stephen Nichols said something really interesting. And I always like to listen to ex-pros explain why they think the volume of injuries has gone up. The normal line is they're playing too many games. But Stephen Nichols said something very interesting that, for me, caught my attention. I thought I'd share with you guys. He said he believes it's because of the surfaces. The pitches are too hard nowadays. They're perfect. They're just like carpets, right? Everything's at the same surface. Everything's built perfectly to play nice, silky football. And the pitches can have no give. So your studs don't go in. So what ends up happening is when you're running, you're putting too much pressure on your joints. And that ends up meaning that muscles that aren't meant to do certain things start compensating for other muscles. And then you end up having injuries from it. That is tremendous insight, right? Because that's insight that I wouldn't have. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a professional footballer of any sort. I played Sunday League level, for crying out loud. Had fun, played to a decent standard in the sense that I wasn't the best player on the pitch, but I wasn't the worst. I don't know that kind of level of detail. So it's very interesting to hear from people that do know it. What I think is impressive here, the club are aware that we've got a problem. We've had one too many injuries to ignore it and say it's just bad luck. This has been going on for 2 years. We've changed players and the injuries have prevailed. Initially, people were saying it's because we got rid of so many staff when the Bowley regime started. Then it continued because it's already been a year on with different players. So it's not like players have changed their ways, changed their systems. I think it's important that we as a collective just understand sometimes you need to analyze the situation, reassess it, and do something different. And this is what the club is doing. I'm not trying to say here and say, you know what, Blue Coat's doing everything great and we have to respect them. No, I'm just saying I see what they're trying to do, and I think this is a step in a positive direction. I really want to see Leslie Ogochukwu come back quicker, and I want to see Badiashile recover quicker. I want to see Fofana back. I want to see Reece James back. I don't want to see players go through multiple injuries over and over again. So it's only a matter of time that they invest in this properly and they decide that what we need to do is this, and this will mitigate the situation from arising again. And I'm really happy about that. It shows that the club is actually learning and investing more into the background rather than just the front of the team. And this is what top organizations need to do. But it is what it is, guys. It's a big week for Chelsea. We all know that. So if you guys want to go and watch my other videos that I've released about Mudryk being an absolute joker, and coming out on Instagram with more messages saying how he should be playing, basically indirectly. Or if you want, and you can watch the other one of how my analysis of how Chelsea have spent their money since Winstanley took over. Since that January, do I believe the money's been well spent or do I believe the money's been wasted? Go check it out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Peace out, I'm out.